Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how you can configure your school academics features or configurations. So academics are very important and almost everything on the system depends on academics. So it is very important to understand this section, how you configure academic configurations and how this configuration can affect the rest of the modules. You have to understand this. It's very important. It's the core, in fact. So the system, you'll come just under here. You'll come to the menu and then you navigate to where there is academic section, and then you'll find this section divided into different items. So you shall have academic years, terms, academic terms, or class streams, classes and subjects. I'm going to show you how each and every item here is related to each other. So we'll begin with academic years. So academic years, as it sounds, school operating different academic years. You can have, like, for example, academic year of 2025. For example, 2021, 2022, 2023. Those are different years. So this system gives you ability to keep data of different academic years, where you can retrieve data of old or previous academic years by filtering or by retrieving it from where it has archived. So it does not delete data. It means that if a student has spent here, for example, at the school 5 years, you have ability to retrieve all their records in those past 5 years. So I'm going to show you how you can do it, how you can set different academic years, and how you can manage all these academic related information. So academic years, to come here, you can create a new one, but by default, the system will come with one academic year that is active according to that particular year. And if there is one academic year that is active, you don't need to create another one unless that academic year has ended and you want to start another one. So just simply come here and say new, and then you can be able to enter the name of academic year. For example, you can say 2025, 2026. You enter there the academic year, you select when this academic year starts and when the academic year ends, and then you can write some few information about this academic year. Then you can set this one to be academic year, and then you confirm, and then you put your password to confirm. So once they say this one to be active academic year, the system will go ahead and deactivate the current academic year and make that new academic year as an active academic year. So by default, the academic year will come with a system of that year, so you don't need to create it unless you're switching to another academic year. So that's how you create an academic year, right? And everything that you're going to do will be attached to that academic year. So when you switch academic year, the other information just get hidden where you can hide it when you want. And the system will be showing you the default academic year, or it will be showing by default the active items of active academic year. So I've shown you how you create one. I have shown you how you set one to be active. So let's say that we have one academic year that is active, for example, this one of mine. So the next thing will be academic terms or terms. So the system enables you to have 3 different terms in one academic year. So if you created an academic year, it will generate 3 terms, and you'll find them here and their respective and the years or the respective years where they belong. So for example, to my system, there is only one academic. There's only one academic year that has 3 academic terms, and you can see here on the status there is only one term that is set, and you don't have a button to create a new academic year. Why? Because these ones are generated every time you create an academic year. The system will automatically generate another 3 academic terms, so you don't need to create academic terms. So for example, you can see my current term is term 2. However, if I want to change the term and say maybe the term should be term 1, let's say term 2 has ended. Let's say I want to change the term to be term 3, maybe term 2 has ended. So what you do, just simply come here and say edit, and then you come down, so you'll find everything already set here. You don't need to change things here. What you need to do is to set the term. So if this is term 3 and you want the term 3 to be set as active, you just simply come and say set as active and submit. So it will deactivate the previous term. If it does not activate, you can just come here and first deactivate it by saying it is not current. Okay, then after deactivating it, come back and then set the next term to be the current term by just clicking here and then say it is the current term. So by doing so, it will be able to set that one to be a current term. So that is how you set an academic year. That is how you change the terms or academic terms. Okay, so for example, in my case, you can see this is my second term, the one that is active. So if I want to deactivate it, I just simply come and edit and then make it not current. So if I make it not current, it means that it will not be current. Then I'll have ability to set another term by just simply come here, say edit, and then say set to be the current term. So by doing so, it will go ahead and set the other term to be the current term. So that's how you change terms, and it is very important when the term has ended. So you have to switch term to go to the next term. So everything that will be recorded will be attached to that particular active term, where if you want to get data of previous terms, you'll have to first mine it, or you'll have to first search it in order to do what? To get the data of that previous terms. So that's how you set terms. I hope it is clear, and I hope you can try it yourself. So after setting terms, the next thing is to set classes. In fact, after setting academic year and term, the next thing is to set what? Is set classes. These classes, you set them only once in a year. You set these classes only once in academic year. However, you can add any class, you can modify any class, but you set them only one time in academic year. So if you come to classes, you'll find all the classes listed here. So I'm going to show you different things that you can do when you're working with classes. The first thing, how do you set basic information of the class, such as class teachers, etc. To do that, you just simply come to a class that you want. So you'll find all the classes listed here of different academic years. You see a class name, a class short name, academic year to where it belongs, and the number of streams that are in that class, the number of subjects that are in that class, and the number of students. So you'll have a summary of the classes recorded here. Now, let's say that you want to change the basic information of the class, for example, changing the class name, etc. Just simply come and click here and say edit. And then when you say edit, you'll find the basic information of the class, all right? So you go ahead and change. For example, if it is P7, you want this one to be capital S. However, this is usually not necessary. So you can go ahead and say the class name, say the short name of the class if it is like that. By default, you'll find these things already set for you, so you don't need to say them unless you want to modify. And then the most important part here is to set a class teacher. So if you have employees already registered in your system, as I showed you, you can go ahead and set a different class teacher by just selecting create class teacher. So if you set the person to be a class teacher, it means that those people will be able to perform different roles on that particular class. So in fact, this is a very important part. Like, you have to set a class teacher. So after setting a class teacher, after updating accordingly, you can go ahead and do it and submit. So when you click on submit, the system will go ahead and make a recording or update the information of that particular class or that particular record. So this is very important. You have to set the class teacher of each and every each and every stream of each and every class, just as how I've shown you. Come to classes, come to specific class that you want, make sure that the year is correct, and then go to edit, and then you'll be able to see a section where you can change the class teacher. This is the section where you can change the class teacher. So I'll show you then how you can do what? I'll show you how you can set the class streams. So how do you add streams in a class, and how do you manage the stream in the class? So there are two ways of how to set streams. So to set a stream or to add a stream in a class, you just simply come and right click on a class and say edit. And then after doing so, you go ahead and say streams. You click on stream. So here you can go ahead and enter the stream name. For example, you have red. So you put red like this. By default, you may not find there any stream. So if you want to add a new stream, just simply click on this new button. By clicking on the new button, it will give you ability to do what? To enter a new stream. right? So I can say, for example, this is red. So make sure that you're in the red class. For example, right now I'm in P6. So if I want to say P6 red, so I just put the red only. So if it is lion, if it is blue or whatever, we just put a stream name only. So if this, and select the stream name, stream teacher, if you have stream teachers. However, this is optional, all right? So after doing so, you can add another stream if you want to add another stream. So you just simply click on new to add another stream. So if you have maybe blue, so you can go ahead and set blue. So after doing so, you can add another stream. So if you have maybe purple or something like that. So if you have streams like 4 or 5, you just simply click on new to add another stream. All right. So that's how you set streams. So after finishing setting your streams, you just simply click on submit. So the system will summarize for you and show you that in P6 you have 2 streams. So you can be able to confirm and see if these streams are telling to what exactly you want them to show. So you see here, I have 2 streams in what? In primary 6. So the next thing is to set the subjects, all right? So how do you set subjects? So to set subjects in a system, so just simply come and edit a class, click on edit, and then you go to the tab of what? Of subjects, all right? You go to the tab of subjects. So you'll find all the subjects taught in Uganda listed here. So before you add a subject, first check if it has not been added, all right? So you'll find here the subject with the respective information, right? So this is English, is compulsory, and then it is being taught by a specific teacher. So this is also another important part, setting subject teachers. You have to set them from here, so that next time when it is time to submit the marks, these teachers can be able to do what? To access their respective subjects. It's a very important part, right? So if the subject is already there, you don't need to add it. So you just simply go ahead and set maybe the subject teacher. Now, for instance, if a subject has more than one teacher, if it's being taught by maybe multiple teachers, you can go ahead and add more, right? So this is the main teacher. However, you can add more. Still, these ones will also be able to do what? To submit marks for that subject, all right? So which subject is this? Is English. If I click on basic of P6. So if I go to P6 and then I click on subject, and then I'll be able to see what? The subject that are being taught in P6. So I'll find English. So if I scroll down, I'll see I find mathematics. I can change the teachers. If I scroll down, I'll find science. I can change the teachers, so I can add on the teachers. I'll find also social studies, all right? So if I want to add one more subject, maybe, for example, religious education, if it was not there, just simply click on new, and then I go ahead and add, for example, reading or religious education like Islam, and then I add respective teacher. So I go ahead and submit. So you can add many as possible, as long as they don't repeat themselves. So make sure that you don't add multiple same subjects in the same class. And then I go ahead and submit. So I can be able to see the total subjects that are in this class. Before they were 4, those compulsory ones, but after adding one optional, you can see that they are now what? They are now 5. I can go ahead and so that's how we set subjects, okay? So you can come here and we'll go through it again so you can master it. This is setting the basic information of the class, setting the streams in the class, and setting the subjects in the what? In the class. You can set them from there. If you want to remove it, you can remove from here. But make sure that you don't remove something that you'll need later. Okay? Because it can become hard and dangerous. So that's how you set subjects. So now after doing that, I've shown you how you can set streams and subjects in the same interface. However, if you want to use another interface for setting subjects, you can just simply come here to subjects. So you click on subject, you'll be able to access all the subjects, all right, independently. So if you want to filter maybe subject of a specific class, just simply click on filter, and then say maybe one subject that are being taught in P6. So you just simply come and say P6, and then say search. So the system will show me all the subjects that are being taught in what? In P6. If I want to see the subject that are being taught by a specific teacher, I can just simply come here and filter, and say I want this specific teacher, and then say search. So the system will show me subjects that are being taught by a specific what? By a specific teacher. So that's how you access subjects of different teachers. So that's how you manage subjects. So if I want to change the subject teacher, I can as well edit from this section. By the way, if you want to change from the other section, you can still do from this side. Just simply come here to subjects and then say edit. You can be able to access subjects from this side as well. You can do everything that you're doing the other side, you can do this side. So the class will be locked, so don't change the class and don't change the subject, but you should be able to change the class teacher. You can change the class teacher, subject teacher. All right, you can change the subject teacher. The short code of the subject, you can change it. You can add multiple teachers to this subject. If you want to show this subject on report card, you say yes. If you don't want to show it in report card, you say no. All right, so this is where you say it. If it's an optional subject, say yes, no. Optional. If it's compulsory, say compulsory, like this. So this is where you make these settings. If you want this subject to be graded and counted, you say yes. If you don't want it to be graded and counted, you say no. Right? So it will not be graded. It will not be counted when they are generating the grades and aggregates. So go through this and make sure that you understand them very well. So you can add some comments there and submit. So by doing so, it will go ahead and update that particular subject. You see, I've made it compulsory, optional, and I don't want it to show on the report card. So that subject can be only for marks and the rest, but not appear on the report card. They can say it should appear on the report card, but its aggregate should not be calculated. I just say no there, and that subject will be able to show like that. So you can filter subjects by specific classes. For example, I see the subject of P5. I just do that. I'm repeating myself so you can be able to understand things properly with their respective teachers. So that's how we set subjects. Go ahead and set subjects of all your classes. So streams as well, you can monitor them independently. This was you are managing them from the classes section. However, you can also manage streams independently by just simply coming here. If you want to see the streams of a specific class, you can filter, or you can just go ahead and edit a stream. All right. So you'll see a stream name, the class where it belongs. You can be able to edit. You can change its class teacher, something like that, or the stream teacher. So that is how we do what? We manage subjects. That is how we manage streams. Okay, that's how we manage subjects, and that's how we manage streams. So this is very important part. It's very, very important part. Academics is already set. You set it only when the year changes, and terms is only set when the year changes. But the most important part, make sure you set the classes with the class teachers. Make sure that you set subject, the respective subject teachers, and streams if you have streams. Before you even admit students, make sure that these things are all set before you start admitting students. All right, that's it for today. In the next session, I'll train you how you can manage students. How do you admit students? How do you add students in the system, and how do you manage like the whole part of student management? How do you do that? I'll do that in the next section. So make sure that you don't miss.